welcome to our women's health class, right? Most of us are women. Let's see, can you hear me now? My volume a little bit better. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Okay, let me keep talking and we'll see what happens here. Okay, so we are working through our women's punch card, right? This is the one that we're working on, and this is the one that we're going to be marking off. We have one more after that, which is super exciting. Yay, right? Awesome. Okay, the other thing that I always like to mention is for those of you that don't have this book yet, you know that you can get this book from us as long as you, or when you place your first 100 PB LRP order, which is great. So if you haven't done that yet, do it. Reach out to whomever and we can help answer any questions or concerns you might have or anything like that, okay? And what is the prize for attending tonight's class, right? Everyone that's on live. So, oh, you can't hear me. Okay, so sometimes you have to go, if you're on your phone on Zoom, you have to go to the top right and hit the little icon there. If you're on your desktop, I'm not sure. Is anybody else having a problem hearing me? Because I don't want to talk to myself. Oh, okay. I just got to talk louder. Right? Louder. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to put Facebook away. Just wanted to make sure that we were on there. Okay. So if you are attending live, just make sure that you put, you know, say hi in the comments or ask a question or say that you can't hear me, which is all fine. Just so I know that you're on here live, and I'm going to be giving away a 5 ml of the Clary Calm, which we'll talk about in a little bit why Clary Calm is so awesome. And then I'm going to take everybody that joined in live, and you will, someone, whoever was live, right, is going to get entered in to win the whole trio of the women's, which is the Clary Calm Roller, the Bone Nutrient, and then the phytoestrogen, which are all 3 powerful and awesome, right? I love it. Okay, so again, if you're just joining us, welcome. And then go ahead and in the comments, say hi, say where you're from if you want. I know most of you and where you're from, so that's okay. But just something along the lines that we know that you have been here live and in person, which is exciting. Okay, so let's jump right in. So the reason why we're doing it this way, this class this way, is because it's a lot of information, and when I was processing it all and hearing the information, it was kind of like, oh gosh. So from what I've learned and read is if you can hear it and read it with your eyes at the same time, you're able to absorb it a little bit better. And because everybody is different, right? Essential oils work differently on everybody's body, and so everybody processes things different, right? And so some people hear it and they know it right away, or some people see it and they understand it all right away. So if we can just have everyone hear it and see it at the same time, it'll just help. So that's why it's really important that the slides work. So let's see. No, it'll work. It's all good. We already tested it. Good to go. All right, so can everybody see the screen? I can't see your comments, so hopefully you can see the screen. If you can't, somebody shoot me a text message. How about that? All right, so just like to say I'm not a doctor, so any of this information provided in the class, it's not intended to prescribe, treat, or cure any disease. Right? And so any of this information really can be found anywhere else and free to the public and, you know, all that good stuff. Good old Google. Google, Google. Okay, so a lot of this information was from Dr. Lynn Thompson, doTERRA's Dr. David Hill, and even Sarah Colbert. She is she's a blue diamond with doTERRA, and she's also a birthing doula. So her knowledge is really, really awesome. And then there are a lot throughout here there's a lot of testimonies. They are not my personal testimonies. They are testimonies that were taken from the doTERRA Diamond page on Facebook, and so they're great to hear other people's success stories about our bodies, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but it's almost like it's taboo to talk about our bodies as women, right? It's almost like, oh, we can't talk about it, we don't know about our body, but it's our own body, so we really should know all about it, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about hormones, right? And I always like to start out the class by saying, you know, our body is not broken, right? Our body is not the problem. Most of the times, it's a lot of outside things coming from the outside that attack us, right? So one of the things that I really want you to start to do is start to remove any of those hormone disruptors, or those things that are bombarding us day in and day out, right? They're attacking us every day, daily, hourly, and it's tough, right? So what are some hormone disruptors that we can sort of start to eliminate from our lives, right? We're talking about candles, fragrances, perfumes, right? Laundry detergent, even those dryer sheets, those late plug-ins. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm not sure, but fragrance is the new secondhand smoke, because there is just a lot of like fake fragrances, right? That are just, we're bombarded them day in and day out, and so we think that they're real. We go around and sniffing them, but they're really just these toxic things in our life, and they are messing with our hormones, right? And the hormones, they're good. Okay, let's just give a shout for the hormones. They're good, okay? So this lady was able to avoid a hysterectomy because of her oils. She was able to do the lifelong vitality, the phytoestrogen, as well as Clary Calm twice a day for a year. And her endometriosis and ovarian symptoms were no more. Okay, so can you guys see this? Yeah. A hormone, let's talk about a hormone, right? A hormone is a chemical that's released by a cell or a gland in one part of the body that sends out messages that affect cells in other parts of the organism. In essence, it's a chemical messenger that transports a signal from one cell to another. Cells respond to a hormone when they express a specific receptor for that hormone. Then the hormone binds to the receptor, resulting in the activation of a signal that ultimately leads to cell-type responses. Okay? So the cells are going to be talking back and forth to each other. They're going to respond to hormones. And, you know, when they hear those things or see those things, they're going to talk to each other. But if there is interference, then there's going to be a problem, right? So there is a possibility. There is a possibility for interference to happen, okay? I just want to make sure everybody can see this screen. Can everybody see it? Let's see. All right, so basically, simply, our hormones are chemical messengers that can affect important physiological processes. And one job of hormones is to help our body adapt to its environment. So that's why our hormones are always changing, right? Oh, my hormones are always changing. Hormones. And that's part of the reason why hormones sort of get a bad rep, right? Because they're always changing. So cells, in a little bit more in depth, right? So cells have those little receptor sites, and the hormones bind to those, and that's how our bodies are designed to work, right? And so when those cell receptors get blocked, the hormones can't bind to them. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit scientifically, right, about exo and endo and all that good stuff, okay? I'll just talk it makes me thirsty. Exogenous refers to an action or an object coming from outside a system. It's the opposite of the endogenous, something that's generated from within the system. So there's a variety of exogenous modern chemical compounds, and they have hormone-like effects on both humans and animals. Their interference with the synthesis, secretion, transport, binding, action, or elimination of natural hormones in the body can change the homeostasis, the reproduction, the development, and or behavior, just as those endo, the ones that happen inside the body, produce, the endogenous produce hormones do, right? So basically what it's saying is there can be interference from things from the outside, just like interference sort of happens with things that are on the inside, or hormones, or items and all that good stuff. So exo is outside and endo is on the inside. Let's talk about estrogen. We love estrogen, and it's sort of the most misunderstood hormone. Estrogens are naturally occurring hormones in all vertebrae. That's us, we're vertebrae. Xeno, or foreign estrogens, can be either synthetic or natural chemical compounds. Xenoestrogens, so foreign estrogens, block cell receptor sites and interfere with the proper intake of natural estrogen and progesterone in women and testosterone in men. So remember we talked about those cell receptors talking back and forth to each other? And those receptor sites can get interfered with by those xenoestrogens. And we'll talk a little bit more about xenoestrogens. So phytoestrogens, or the plant, are gentle plant-based estrogens that can help clean hormone receptors and the binding sites and block those xenoestrogens, right? So the phytoestrogens are the good guys. So xenoestrogens are structurally similar to estrogen. They act as false messengers and they interfere with normal hormone activity. So a lot of times the chemicals that we use or are exposed to act like estrogen, right? And then that's where the interference comes in, and that's where things start to go haywire, right? Have you ever heard of estrogen dominance? And so I'm sure that we've heard of it or heard somebody say that they are, and whether or not their doctor told them that or they just self-diagnosed it, whatever that may be, right? Most of the time, it's from an outside source. A lot of times, it's not anything that's going on within their body, but it's from things that are happening on the outside that are attacking their bodies, okay? Okay, so what are some common sources of xenoestrogens? Some common sources of xenoestrogens. They are, commercially raised meats that have been fed or injected with growth hormone, commercial dairy, the very common birth control pill, soy, which is one of the most genetically modified foods in our market or in our food system, ecosystem, plastic and styrofoam containers, air fresheners. The list goes on and on. Red dye number 3, all of those awesome things that we are in our lives day in and day out, right? So it's kind of like, oh my gosh, what do? We live under a rock and not have these xenoestrogens attack us? It's hard, right? So some common hormone inhibitors that happen. So poor diet, being attacked by those xenoestrogens, inflammation, stress, a sedentary lifestyle, environmental toxins, right? A lot of these things are things that happen to us on a daily basis, but some of these things we can control, right? We can sort of take charge with. Infertility is another big one. And the problem with infertility is we should be getting better with infertility. The reality is it's actually getting worse. And every time I turn around, I find out that a new friend is having trouble getting pregnant, or this isn't working out, or that's not working out. But in the day and age that we live in, that should not be happening, right? So something needs to change. Could it just be that we are exposing our bodies to more chemicals and things are becoming, things aren't firing correctly, and right, all that craziness. So another thing is stress, right? So stress can be a hormone inhibitor, and it changes the uptake of hormones in the body. And then even a sedentary lifestyle that does not include the body, it doesn't induce the body to produce hormones. Hormone-like an activity lifestyle does, right? So if you're not active and not moving your body, it's going to cause some disruption in the hormones. Stress, there's different stresses, right? There's the cortisol that could lead to estrogen dominance, and then there's the adrenal, which could affect the cell receptor interference. In postmenopause, excess estrogen can lead to salt and fluid retention, low blood sugar, blood clotting, thyroid problems, increased cholesterol, and even later on in life have some allergic reactions, and even increased body fat. Who wants that? And in premenopausal, excess estrogen can lead to mood swings, depression, heavy or irregular menses, bloating, sleep disturbances, fatigue, short-term memory loss, weight gain, craving sweets, breast swelling all month, fibrocystic breasts. And so there's a lot of things that estrogen can affect, right? There is something that we've heard of estrogen dominance in men. And estrogen dominance in men is most commonly caused by factors such as obesity, alcoholism, exposure to xenoestrogens. Remember, the xeno are the outside guys, right? The prostate issue in men often occurs when testosterone receptors are blocked by the xenoestrogen. And that can be, a low sex drive, impotency, infertility, weight gain, and even testicular cancer. Okay, so this is just a little testimony of, him and his wife were trying to conceive, and they were having issues, so he ended up starting out the lifelong vitality, the Terrazyme, the phytoestrogen, and some cinnamon oil. And within just a few months, they were having a baby. Okay, so another thing to consider is the early onset of puberty in both boys and girls. The breast growth in boys, infertility, breast cancer, it can all be affected by hormone disruptors. Another thing that is, I lost my train of thought, sorry about that. Progesterone, you need an increase of progesterone in order to conceive, carry, and then even deliver or sustain a pregnancy. So progesterone is another one that is, can be affected, right? So chronic stress leads to depleted adrenals, and our adrenals have effect on 72 hormones, which that's why sometimes we're so crazy, right? We're not crazy though, because our body's not broken, but why our hormones are always changing and adapting, right? And then so those depleted adrenals, they may be tired in the morning, and you may not be able to go to sleep at night. You deal with panic and anxiety, salt cravings, and even some ADD. Thyroid medication will be less effective if the adrenals are not supported. So if you are on thyroid medication, you might want to talk to your doctor and make sure that your adrenals are being supported, and you can use oils for those, right? So not to kind of be the, doom, right? Or being attacked, let's go live under a rock. What can we do? There's hope. There's always hope. We're talking about oils, right? Oils are always great. Okay, so we talked about stress, right? So how can we relieve stress? Essential oils, of course, right? So here's some tips for you. Some frankincense, lavender, lemon, and peppermint all have been shown to have a positive effect on mood, and they can bring about a calm state for both the mind and the body. You can just inhale them, rub them on the back of your neck, the bottoms of your feet, your temples, and let those oils work for you. So rose, who doesn't love their rose touch? It's phenomenal. Rose and patchouli have been researched for their ability to decrease the blood adrenaline. By just inhaling these oils, it can cause about a 30% decrease in that adrenaline. And sometimes your body can't process stress and adrenaline. It kind of processes it the same way. So to be able to kind of calm it down would be great. Okay, so for those of you that deal with the chronic stress or hormonal issues, you really want to consider the aroma touch technique. Why? Well, for starters, there are a ton of us on our team that are aroma touch certified. I can only speak for myself, but I do need to practice. So reach out. Everybody is, those of us that are certified love to bless people with it. It's a great thing to have. I love being able to have that possibility to do it on my family. It's really awesome. And so Dr. Hill recommends an aroma touch technique, a minimum of 1 to 2 times per month, and then even 1 to 2 times weekly for those that are really trying to overcome some issues. And there have been some significant people have had some great results with it. So fertility and the aroma touch technique. So this lady, went from years of no babies to 2 babies. She was doing Parazyme, Lifelong Vitality, Lemon. She was getting aroma touch. She did a round of the PX and then she was able to have some babies, right? Okay, so we need to avoid those xenoestrogens whenever possible. Remember we talked about the xenoestrogens being those foreign, the outside ones, right? So try and use glass or ceramic whenever possible when you're storing your food or even your water. Heat your food up using glass or ceramic bowls. When plastic is heated, it diffuses very rapidly into the food, right? Use a simple detergent or make your own with essential oils. It's super easy and less expensive, right? Try to avoid any sort of synthetic chemicals. Hormone-free meat and dairies. Try to buy organic. Try and stick to the dirty. Try and do organic with the dirty dozen. It's a great place to start, and then you can go from there. And then a lot of skin lotions and creams and even the makeup that you're wearing have a lot of, I know, it's like we can never win, but they have a lot of toxic things in there that you can try to avoid. And then I can't have a class without talking about the Lifelong Vitality. So if you haven't had a chance to give this a go, you can get a 30-day, you can order it from doTERRA, and you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And if you try it for 30 days and you don't feel or see any results, then you can get your money back. And I love to tell people to start it and then stop and see how you feel. And sometimes people don't feel the results right away, but then when they stop taking it, oh wow, I didn't realize that was helping me with that or helping me with that, this and that. The other thing too is we've already done a class on the Lifelong Vitality. So if you want to check out that video, it'll go more into depth about the omegas, the alpha CRX, and then the microplex BMZ. So then this is just another testimony from a woman who was able to, just use some more oils and supplements to help her with her baby issues. So progesterone is affected by nutrition and stress and even toxicity. Vitamin E, B6, beta-carotene, and magnesium are all stimulant progesterone production, right? So when you have progesterone, you need progesterone, like I mentioned before, right, to conceive, sustain, and even deliver a baby. So sometimes when progesterone is the levels of progesterone drop, that's when the body starts to sort of miscarry, which is unfortunate. And so you can actually use some essential oils too that can help, help your body with the progesterone support. So thyme, oregano, geranium are all great. Consider grapefruit because that can help prevent the cortisol from breaking the progesterone production. Then there's always the Cleanse and Restore Kit. So this one is really awesome and great. You stay hydrated. You can try and increase your carbohydrates and fiber with the fruits and vegetables. You exercise, and then you do the Cleanse and Restore. It's one of the only ways that you can eliminate the extra estrogen is through your digestive system, right? So if you are backed up, first start is you want to get that digestive flowage going to get rid of that extra estrogen, right? Try and consider the Cleanse and Restore. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. So there are some, if you're having some sort of toxic overload, citrus oils are great detoxifiers. So think about your lemon, the wild orange, the grapefruit, and the lime. And you can use those every day because we are exposed to toxins every day, right? A drop in your water, you can take it in a veggie cap. It's a great way to just support your body. Then you can support your organs with the endocrine oil or any of the individual oils that really just help your body detox and process things, right? So geranium again, grapefruit, rosemary, and clove. You can apply those topically over where the liver would be, or you can even take it in a capsule. This is what the Cleanse and Restore Kit looks like. It is suggested that you do it 1 to 2 times a year. I have yet to do it yet because since starting doTERRA, I have always been pregnant or nursing. The reason being is the GX Assist is it's a detoxifier, right? It's going to help flush things out of your system. So when you are nursing and or pregnant, your body is already pulling nutrition to, sustain that life, and even when you're nursing, your body is going elsewhere. So to put some other taxing things on your body, it's just something that's not, it's not something that's really encouraged much. Again, do what works for you. And this is one of the first things that I'm going to do, and I've been nursing. So then this is just another testimony. And so sometimes you can have a blood test and it won't show that you have estrogen dominance. But hormones are either free or they are bound. And in the bloodstream, hormones are bound to a protein. And then there's that blood serum test that can only detect those free hormones. You could be estrogen dominant, but it won't show up because it's bound. So just keep those little, insights in, right? So just a reminder, really, for health for both genders, you need a proper amount of all steroid hormones, of progesterone to testosterone and estrogen, right? We need all three, just in different quantities. And so then when 1 or 2 or 1 is out of whack, that's when things really start to, some red flags start to come up. And this is just another couple of testimonies for people. Okay, so now let's talk about, I want to go back here. So this one down here talks about, I am concerned about soy and resisted taking it for that reason. She's talking about the phytoestrogen. So I know that fermented non-GMO soy is good for normal hormone balance, and the flax seed binds to excess estrogen to help it exit the body. And after having my son, I decided to try it, and it has been life-changing. And I'm so glad that I got past the soy thing and tried it. And so what she's talking about is the phytoestrogen, right? So if you recall, in the beginning, we talked about soy being one of the most genetically modified foods to date. And so stay away from anything soy related, right? But here's the great thing. You look at the phytoestrogen, you turn it around, and you look at the ingredients, and it's soy extract and flaxseed. And the reason why, right, soy, we just talked about that. The phytoestrogen is the phyto, right? It's the plant. It's the natural the natural one that we talked about. So that's going to clean those cell receptor sites, right? So then the communication can happen in between those cells, and then it's going to block those xenoestrogens. Remember, xeno is from the outside and always constantly being bombarded. So the crazy thing about it is if you are living, breathing, you should really be taking the phytoestrogen. And that's because we're always taking those xenoestrogens day in and day out. It doesn't matter how hard we try. If you go live under a rock, you might be okay. But reality is none of us live under a rock. So something that I had heard and listened to was, you take 2 Hershey Kisses, and the amount of soy that is in those 2 Hershey Kisses, they actually have more soy than a serving of the phytoestrogen. So you should just be taking the phytoestrogen to combat those Hershey Kisses, just to give you an idea. It's the recommended dose is 2 vegetable capsules, and that's what that looks like. So the phytoestrogen includes a standardized soy extract from the non-GMO fermented soy. And it's a powerful phytoestrogen that binds with the estrogen receptors in cells and the natural phytoestrogen in pomegranate, right? And it also has the flax in there. So it also includes a concentrated extract of flaxseed to help manage potentially harmful metabolites, sorry, I can't read, that are produced when estrogen is metabolized in the liver. And so the flaxseed has been found to protect against hormone-sensitive cancers. And it really just helps flush things out, right? Takes that extra estrogen and says, see you later. With phytoestrogens, you do not have to figure out if you are estrogen dominant or deficient. Phytoestrogens are apoptogenic to regulate the body. So the phytoestrogens, because they are natural and they are the plants, they are going to just say, okay, your body needs this much, let's do this. Your body doesn't need that much, okay, let's do that. And it really takes the guesswork out and does the work for you. So this is just another testimony about it, and another testimony, and there's a live one, which is really, really great and awesome. And she took her PMS from a week long to a day and helped her become super regular. And then she got pregnant at 41, which most people don't want that to happen. So just be careful, is my disclaimer, if you don't want to get pregnant. But it really helped make things more regular, which can help, right? And then the Clary Calm helps with the hot flashes and all that good stuff. More testimonies. You can actually rewatch this and just pause it if you want and read these testimonies. So let's talk about Clary Calm. Okay, this is if you're a woman, you need this bad boy in your life. So the oils in the blend of Clary Calm were chosen specifically for their properties that help balance hormones and many of the symptoms of hormonal imbalance. Okay, so consider frankincense and geranium for the disorders of the uterus, such as fibroid cysts, and you can use it to help reduce existing abnormalities and or prevent their formation. So let's talk a little bit about Clary Calm. How, why, when, why, what, where, right? So this bottle from doTERRA is a roller bottle, but it comes undiluted. So you could actually open it up, split it in half, and make 2 rollers, okay? And so anytime that it's near my time of the month or anything like that, I'll take the Clary Calm and just roll it right on the outside of my lady part, and then the inside of my ankles, okay? Because your ankles are a pressure point connected to your uterus. So let's just cover all of our bases. This bad boy will really help with any cramps. It will help take the cramping away, reduce it, help with the PMS. Sometimes people will use this all month long. Some people will just use it the week before their period, during their period, all that stuff. I just know that this oil smells really good to me certain times of the month, and other times I don't feel like that right now. So that just goes to show the powerfulness of it. Some other oils to consider for cramps: Roman Chamomile Bergamot with a warm compress. If you've got hot flashes, think about peppermint, geranium. Again, we talked a lot about geranium. Clary Calm, Balance, clary sage, and your citrus oils. So if you need some support in libido, you've got your ylang-ylang, clary sage, clary calm, immortelle, geranium also. But then you could just scratch all of those and get yourself some neroli. And thank you later. This lady was able to avoid a hysterectomy with frankincense and clary sage. Clary sage helps stop the bleeding. Another awesome testimony. So if you have some fatigue, you want to consider the lifelong vitality pack that we talked about, right? Because that is just going to increase your energy, and the supplements are really awesome. Peppermint is a great invigorating oil. You've got your citrus oils and ginger. Those are very stimulating. So white fur does not exist anymore, but we've got Siberian fur, and that is just amazing for any sort of exhaustion or fatigue, right? Basil can help restore your healthy rhythms of sleep and activity. And then the Aroma Touch blend both has basil and peppermint along with grapefruit and cypress, so that's really awesome for fatigue too. Okay, so that's just another couple more testimonies of someone that has had Hashimoto's at 27, and she was able to really just help have some babies, which is great, right? Okay, so let's talk about the bone nutrient. So this is the third item in the women's trio. And I forgot to mention that you can actually buy these items individually, but you do save a little bit of money if you buy all three at the same time. You wanted to, give it a go and try. So the bone nutrient is calcium, and the recommended serving dosage is 4 vegetable capsules. But if you are taking the lifelong vitality, they are suggested that you take 2 to 3. So I take 2 because I'm taking the lifelong vitality. And here's something awesome that I learned since starting this women's class, because I'm always trying to learn, is the bone nutrient also has magnesium in it. And so it's best to take the bone nutrient at night, preferably before you go to bed, because the calcium and the magnesium will really help you sleep and help you get some restful sleep, but also it'll really, your body regenerates itself at night, right? So DDR prime, the bone nutrient, and some other great ones to take in the evening or to use topically on you at night are really great just to help your body reset itself as it sleeps. And that's why sleep is so important too, because your body is revving up to get better, right? Okay, this is just another testimony. Another great testimony, and that is it for our slideshow, if I can see, right? So I'm gonna look and see if we had any questions. Yes, Piper, we need to set up an Aroma Touch, girl. Absolutely. But you know what? Somebody closer to you might be certified too. All right, so I'm gonna look and see on the Facebook. Does anyone have any questions? I know, Lindsay, I know what you mean about oils and newborn infertility, right? Next round. Yeah, so geranium, geranium. If you don't have geranium, get it. It's great. Yes, everybody needs to be on phytoestrogen, not be on it. That's not right. Everyone needs to be using the phytoestrogen. It was one of the last supplements that I tried, I'll be honest with you. But since trying it, I think it's really helped just help me out, right? Can't hurt. Yeah, so Lily is saying that she's had a bunch of oilers tell her that their menopause has had a drastic change once they started the phytoestrogen. Yeah. Yeah, try it for your period. Yes. Neroli. Yeah, it really, exactly. to help a friend, right? How many of us know people out there that are just suffering and are willing to try anything? And if you want to give oils a try, and it's okay with your doctor, it's going to save you a little bit of money, and hopefully you can have great results. Okay, awesome. So does anyone have any other questions? Thank you for all your comments and your input. Let's see, I just want to make sure we didn't miss any questions. We're good. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for joining. I will pick a winner later tonight or tomorrow morning, and then pick a grand prize winner. And hopefully you learned something. I have learned so much. It took me forever to do this class, but now I actually feel like I know my body just a little bit more, right? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Have a good night.